Hello, everyone, and welcome to SONIQLOOX Conversations. It's our video interview series where we talk with a wide variety of artists about their music, their process, and the lives they're living alongside of their music. Today, we're joined by Lolo, whose musical project Moving in Slow began in 2017, but has really picked up steam since he relocated to Seattle in 2023. Since landing there in the Pacific Northwest, he's performed at many popular venues and even performed at the Capitol Hill Block Party. Now, his music is this emotionally honest, high-energy, live, socially influenced by the euphoric rush of things like trap shows filtered through guitar-forward songwriting. His recent singles include Tomorrow, Feel My Age, and Call a Doctor, which is the last of which drew attention for its unflinching take on mental health. Welcome to SONIQLOOX, Lolo.
Hello, thank you for having me, Danny.
Yes, it's really cool to be talking to you. I came across your music, like I do many others on TikTok, and it just drew me in. And I think it was like I said in the intro, just that mix of the lyrics and your songwriting and your singing, your performance of it, just really called to me. And I wonder if that's because you describe it as sad, fun music.
Mm-hmm.
So can you elaborate on that for me?
Sad, fun music. I don't know. I think I was just trying to come up with something to describe the music. Sad, fun music. Yeah, I guess the lyrics are fairly sad. People have told me, but I think the music behind it is generally uplifting and has more energy to it. So sad, fun.
Yeah.
And it's music.
I get it. And it's that I was about to say hypocrisy, but that's not the right word. it's that where they merge, and it's that where they contrast each other. You usually hear sad songs are slower, they're mellow, they're in a minor, but here you are mixing them with this high energy music. So what does a night feel like after a show that when you actually nailed that combination perfectly?
Oh, I've talked about this with some of my friends. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, I kind of like to compare it to that Spider-Man gets done saving the world and he's coming off of that adrenaline, and then he'll go home to a shitty 1-bedroom New York apartment. My apartment isn't shitty, it's quite lovely.
Metaphorically.
Yeah, but after a show, I just go home.
Okay. I hear you. So it's just like, I'm done. I left it all out on the stage for you guys, and I just need a retreat. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hear you. Now, I haven't been to Seattle, but from what I've read, the Capitol Hill Block Party is a pretty big place for an independent artist to perform. What did that tell you when you performed on the stage there about where Moving in Slow is headed?
It was really nice to see that we got the opportunity for that. After playing that, it just kind of reinvigorated me to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the energy we had playing the show just felt special.
Yeah.
We had all been working very hard playing music in the scene, so to see that we were getting some recognition really meant a lot.
That's cool. Yeah, I can imagine. For people who aren't familiar with you and your music, can you give me a brief rundown of what Moving Slow is, or who Moving Slow is, and maybe where that name came to be?
Yeah, Moving in Slow is me,
Okay.
and it's my solo project from 2017. I was in a band with some friends, and then just wanted to originally make some softer type music than I was making in that band. So I started the project. And the name comes from, there's a band that I really liked in college and still like now. They have a song called Moving in Slow.
Oh, okay.
I like the title. The band is A Great Big Pile of Leaves.
I think I've heard of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, hey, draw influence from what you like, right? So.
Exactly, yeah. And people typically tell me that I move fairly slow, so I feel like the name fits.
You're like, it felt fitting.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, did he leave off motion or moving in slow motion? Because that's where I first thought it was going to. But your music is anything but slow motion, which is great.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. If you ever search me up on Google, I feel like that always comes up, moving in slow motion. So
okay.
yeah,
We just need to make sure we don't click on those links because you'll take forever
exactly.
getting out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you said you started this project in 2017 and you've moved to Seattle about 3 years ago now, and basically built it up from scratch, right? You just said that you started this project from when you were in a different band. What was the moment then, and maybe in Seattle, or even if it happened before, that it stopped feeling like this little side project and feel more like it was something real?
Ooh, yeah. This was when I would say 2022. I started the project. It was very, very much a side project. Like I played some solo shows here and there. I'm originally from Miami, so I played some solo shows in Miami. Um, and then COVID hit 2020. And I was still making music and putting it out. I think that's when I started taking it a little more seriously. But in 2022, I put together a show, my first show back after the pandemic and
Right.
everything. And I think the size of that show and how I felt after was like, okay, I need to keep it going.
Yeah, that definitely. That's really cool. I mean, during the pandemic, I've spoken with a lot of artists where they just it could have just ruined them, right? Because as
Right.
an entertainer, you want to get out there and perform, but then you're not allowed to. So it seems like you were able to harness all of that and put it into this one big showcase where you felt like, yes, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, it was just during the pandemic, I was still making music and not being able to play shows for that long. Um, it really allowed me to kind of visualize what my live show would be
Mhm.
for 2 years. So by the time I was able to finally do it, um, yeah, I was just ready to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had to put the brakes on a little bit when you got up there, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, talk a little bit more about your live shows. So, from what I've read and gathered and researched, it's like this full throttle euphoric feeling, right? What do you actually do in that set though to create that for you? Is it just the music itself, or how much of it just comes through you as a performer?
Yeah, I try to have as much energy on stage while performing, and I try to keep the energy up by having as little lulls as possible
Mm,
between
mhm.
songs. Um, Sometimes I find it, I don't want to say annoying because everybody could play however they want to play, right? But
Right.
I guess a better way to phrase it is I always really enjoy when a band is playing live and the energy kind of stays consistent between the songs and there aren't a lot of lulls or the
Mhm.
band isn't like constantly tuning. Um, so I try to do that as much as possible.
I hear you. So that resonates more with you. So it's almost like you're playing live music and you're doing that, but you're almost like a DJ in a way. You're just mixing from track to track.
Exactly. Yeah. Cause I think there's some artists who you see, I think BTS is a good example. Their live show is a show. It's a full kind
Hmm.
of produced thing. And so many of the things are so intentional. But there are some bands who I also love, but these are just, some people on stage, song done, tune, song done, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And you kind of like you said the lull, and it kind of loses its momentum in a way.
Right, right,
Absolutely, I get that. I get
right.
that totally. Well, that's really cool. I mean, do you find yourself ever not reacting to the crowd, but feeding off of the crowd, the audience? Are they giving the energy back to you, and is that what helps keep you going there?
Definitely. Um, Yeah, no, nothing else to say, honestly. Yeah.
You're like, yes.
If the crowd isn't giving me a lot, I still try to keep the energy up, whether or not the crowd um, is
Hmm.
giving me a lot of energy. Because I feel like sometimes the crowd will feed off of your energy as
Yes,
well.
that's true.
So
Hmm.
I think a lot of times a crowd won't give the band any energy because the band isn't really asking it from them.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
true.
yeah, but I don't want to end up, trying too hard to get the energy and then just being annoying. So, you know.
Yeah, we've all seen those before. I know what you mean.
Mhm.
Has there ever been an instance in a set or a performance of yours where you've noticed maybe the crowd isn't into it, but so you had to pivot a little bit and took it to a different direction, and then they reacted positively?
Um, mm, Not off the top of my head. We're just that good, I guess.
There you
No,
go.
no, no. No, it's usually. I'll say no. I'll
Okay,
say no.
fair
Yeah.
enough. No, no. I mean, if didn't happen, you can't make it up, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess conversely to that, when has there been shows where it's just like been so over the top, so perfect for you, where you're just like in awe? Or can tell me a time when you were just like in awe of how seamless it went?
Yeah. Let me see. When we played Capitol Hill Block Party, the energy was really nice. Because we played a stage that we had played plenty of times before
Mhm.
at Capitol Hill Block Party, so the familiarity of it really helped. And I think usually festival sets can be kind of tricky because the people are there mostly for the headliner. Um, but the crowd, they showed out and they really gave us a lot of energy.
That's cool.
Um, yeah.
Is it different playing a small venue club as opposed to like a festival setting? And how do you approach that differently?
Well, the thing with the festival was that we played a small venue. Like it
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because the way the festival was is, it was in Seattle. There's the Capitol Hill neighborhood.
Mhm.
So what they do is they shut off a few blocks, and then like on the street is the main stage, like the big stage, and then in Capitol Hill there are a few venues. There's Barboza, which is like a 200 capacity venue, and that's the stage that we played.
Oh,
And we
I
had played
see.
that stage a few
Okay.
times.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, and then you're getting people. Well, the good thing about that, I guess you would say, is that you're getting people who are maybe there for a different band, but now they're experiencing you and
right,
getting to see your music. And it's like, wow, who is this guy? How come I hadn't heard of him before? Uh,
right.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, I want to talk a little bit about. We just finished. We just went through May, which I guess is Mental Health Month, and
Mhm.
one of your songs called "A Doctor" goes to an honest place for you. And I guess this also goes back to when you're performing live. What happens in the room when you play that song? Do you notice any shifts in any direction of people listening?
Oh God, if I'm being honest, because the lyrics are so vulnerable, I try to kind of tune that out because it feels very strange to kind of wear my heart on my sleeve in front of all these strangers. It's something I could only do through music, but when I'm doing it live, um, I try to just be like, just focus on the music.
Yeah,
So I
I
notice some shifts. Sometimes people hold up their phone lighters, you
oh
know.
that is if since that song is such a vulnerable place for you to see people reacting like you said holding up their phones and really maybe having it resonate with them.
Mhm.
um I can only imagine how that must feel as an artist for you, that you're really touching these people.
That really does mean a lot. Yeah. I remember the first time that happened. It was our second show here in Seattle. And yeah, it really meant a lot to
That's
see.
cool. That is really cool. So I read somewhere that a friend told you that your song made them want to dance, fly, and peacefully blow up in the sun. What's the reaction that gave you first, and what's the reaction you're still chasing from the crowd to make them want to feel that way?
What's the reaction that I had when I saw that?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember I told him, like, dude, that was exactly the feeling that I want people to have when they listen to this song. He's a close friend of mine, old friend of mine. So I think we just speak each other's language very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he knew what I wanted to get when I put out this song, and I guess he knew what I wanted to hear from him.
Well, I guess it probably more than just what you wanted to hear. It's what you made him feel. So.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
And that's really cool. I mean, I've tried my hand in songwriting, but it's nothing too serious. But to make people feel a certain way with your words, that means a lot.
Right.
I'm sure.
It does mean a lot. Yeah. Because when I'm making the songs, it feels very personal. So I always feel like, well, I don't know if anyone will relate to this, but I guess it's just shown me more and more that there are people out there experiencing the same thing, and I don't have any original experiences.
I wouldn't say that you don't have any original experiences. I would say that your experiences resonate with other people because they shared experience. Yeah, I like that too. Okay. I've also heard or read that you have a track in your vault where you're screaming your lungs out for the first time. What cracked that open, and when will you release it if you haven't?
We'll release it in the fall, I think. I'm shooting for fall.
Okay.
So if someone ever stumbles upon this interview in December and the song isn't out, I'm sorry, but like we're planning for fall. And what brought that out? I think in a technical sense, what brought it out is I thought it would sound nice. Like like from a recording standpoint, I thought it would sound nice to have that layer. But I think also what the lyrics are, I think it's a very what's the word? Cathartic song.
Oh, okay.
And it's different for me lyrically because it doesn't deal so much with mental health, like sadness, depression, anxiety, but kind of talking more about the state of the world,
Okay.
and kind of my own interaction with that. So I think it just the lyrics were calling for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's nothing sad or anxious about the state of the world right now.
Yeah, right. Not at all.
Not at all. Well, if people want to follow your musical journey, where's the best place for them to find you?
Instagram and TikTok.
Instagram and TikTok. Okay. And that's at Moving in Slow.
Moving in Slow. Yeah.
No motion out there, just moving in slow. So
yep, we're just moving in slow.
Okay, one last question for you. Right now, in this moment in Seattle, what does moving in slow feel like to you?
The band or the sentiment?
The whole
thing.
Everything, the whole enchilada, if you will. What does it feel like to you in this moment there? Do you feel like, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but where do you feel like you are within that realm?
It feels like we're going. We're getting there. I think the more we've played here and the more I've seen people who I really like play, it's really nice to kind of get to meet them, and they have said nice things about the music and have come to shows and have wanted to work with me, and I've wanted to work with them. So it feels really nice, if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's perfect. And I can't wait to hear more of your songs. Can't wait to hear the new ones that are going to release this fall or not, but probably yes. So thank you so much, Lolo, for taking some time here with us at SONIQLOOX to let us into your world a little bit. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It really has been a pleasure.